Hi everyone, Johnny St. Pierre, the beer, TV ramble and gambling. Look at Black Crown by Budweiser. You said it all. An American amber red ale beer, 67 score on Beer Advocate, which give it a pour, but the Bros give it a 71. This beer came out in 2013, around the same time as Miller Fortune and the Budweiser, also the Bud Light Platinum. Well, Bud Light came before that, but same time, this is their response to the Miller Fortune beer that came out. So, the malt liquor project, I don't know, the malt liquor thing, whatever. Hello, Polish dog I'm having with this. Take a look at the color here. Ignore the Alabama look, folks. I do not root for Alabama. It's just a glass. As you can see, nice little froth head. We all heard the story about Miller Fortune. Of course, there's been the unfortunate thing of this lager. They call it an amber lager, golden amber lager, but 6% ABV. You know, Bud really put a lot of promotion to this. Of course, they premiered a lot of this premiered in 2013, right around Super Bowl 47. Of course, in January around that time, going into the NFL playoffs, college football playoffs, I mean college football BCS. When we had the BCS, the beer came out around the same time. So far, sales of this beer have been okay, not great. I got this at a store today, 22 ounces. Paid all. You don't know what I'm paid. I'm kind of pissed that I paid that for this beer. It's 22 ounce, but so let me go ahead and review it. I've been wanting to, so here I am. Again, look at the color right there. You can see the golden amber color, what the beer says. Similar to the line of the England traditional lager, George Keelan's Irish Red. I think those two are probably better beers. Again, I haven't tried this one. It's my first time, so bottoms up. Pleasant. Nothing to write home about, but pleasant enough. And other beers that a 6 pack, you get this in a 6 pack in my area for about 10. Not 10. 6.99. Sixer for this plus tax. Most stores, Walmart, then the Publix, grocery stores, whatnot. So this ain't bad. It ain't terrible. Long day at work, folks. So forgive me for eating like a pig. Not proper, but I'm hungry. So far, I think Anheuser-Busch InBev has been trying to target the same people that Milford trying to target the kid, the jacket, the tie. He's at the club. And he drinks the on a rock stuff in a rock glass, and he's looking for instead of a regular beer, like Bud or whatever. Of course, that was the whole thing with PBR. What made it kind of got brought back in popularity was the guy in the flannel shirt or the guys hanging out, who didn't have a lot of cash and say, "Hey, you got PBR, I got PBR," and it became the chic beer, the hip retro beer to have. Of course, that was also made famous by the movie Blue Velvet, Dennis Hopper, Cobb McLaughlin. Heineken, no, it's PBR, man. That's the real beer. Um, the retro beers, the Miller High Lifes. All right, that time going back to the 2000s. So now, late 90s, 2000s, and whatnot. So now this Black Crown is trying to look into that market. The guy with the jacket, smoking jacket, the velvet jacket. He's at the club, the loud music, and you're looking to be hip. Hey, I'll get a black crown. That's who they are targeting. Similar to what Miller Fortune was targeting. If you saw the commercial for Black Crown, the club scene, pools, dark, blue lights, you know, very intense, situation. That's who they were targeting, and so far it's worked. But so far, would the sales like to be a lot better than compared to what they are right now? No, it could be better. Right now, I very rarely get many advertising ads on television for this beer for Black Crown. Very few of them I've seen, and even though it's been 2 years now since it came out, but you know, I guess to them by their numbers, they'll say, well, we know who we're targeting. We're happy and we're satisfied with what the numbers are. But I'm sure they thought maybe be somewhere on the level, I don't know, with Bud or Bud Light. If that's what they were thinking, then they were wrong. But nothing wrong with the beer. I think it's pretty good. But I think with the Fortune as wrong. But I think with Miller Fortune, for example, you could taste a little of the sweetness to it. This one doesn't have much of it. I think it's just okay. It's like you are tasting a lager, but it doesn't have that little sweet little thing where you want to pour in a rock glass, like Miller Fortune is trying to do with that beer. This beer, I think it's just right. It has that golden look to it, which I think is okay. I think this is decent. I just wish the price could be a little better for what it is. But um, I think it's fine. I'd say it's the greatest beer, but I think it does okay for me. But smooth with beechwood finish. It does have that. Still got a nice little head, as you can see in this beer. Um, Lyra Rail. Still, uh, uh, still you compare this with a nice little pork chop. Maybe that might be a good suggestion right there. But I think a German Polish sausage would be great, which is kind of what I had. Italian style sausage. Schnitzel, nice dog for would be perfect with this and some bag of chips. I think that'd be great with this beer. I think it really is just. I think it's really decent. I mean, it's not the great, but it's decent. 6%. I don't really feel anything at 6% right now compared to as some will may look as a malt liquor. Maybe my friend Ronald J. Terrell would say, this could be considered a malt liquor. I don't know, 6%. I don't know, but it's decent enough. It has a very nice bite to it. I think it's good. So I'm gonna give an 8.5 score for this beer. I think that's about fair. 8.5 for Black Crown. I don't think it's bad. You know, Not the greatest lager, but it's a good golden lager, and it's a shame that the sales are not where AB InBev would like it to be. But I think they know who they're trying to target. So, and one thing I've always said, and I think a lot would agree, Anheuser-Busch InBev, even with the recent acquisition or of SAB Miller, they don't do crap. All their beers are quality control is by far second to none of all their of everything. I mean, they don't use garbage stuff. They don't use anything that is thrown here and there. They use the best stuff to make the best quality beer. out there from this, of course, to the signature Bud, the Budweiser, to their malt liquors, which they don't really very rarely discuss or even mention or talk about. Yeah, King Cobra, yeah, we don't talk about, yeah, King Cobra, good, yeah, Hurricane, yeah, that's a good beer. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Budweiser. Let's talk about Bud Light. But even from, like I said, from Bud to the Hurricane to King Cobra to Natural Light, Bush Light, Natural Ice, you name it, you know, they don't put anything together and just say whip it up and bam, here you go, there's beer. They're very careful, they're very precise on what they do, and they put out good products. So if people want to critique them and criticize them and say, "Oh, this is drink natural light. This is piss." I don't drink this. This is just garbage. I don't drink Bud. I don't drink this. They know what they're doing. They put out the best and make sure that you're going to get a good product and you keep coming back to us all the time. So, and it all goes back to that Super Bowl commercial back in February, Super Bowl 49, when they really put it out there and sort of saying to the craft beer folks, yes, so people will buy your craft beer, people are going to buy your stuff, but at the end of the day, going to come back and buying our product, and our products are good quality and it's reasonably priced. Some are not, but they're reasonably priced. And you're gonna come back for more to us. So you can drink your craft beer stuff, the quality and product is what we stand for at Anheuser-Busch InBev. And the same goes for Miller, and the same goes for Coors Brewery, and even Paps. This is the same way. They're still around. Still in business. So anyhow, enough of my diatribe about that. Budweiser Black Crown, I'm giving this a solid 8.5. Good amber lager, American amber ale, red ale, are according to the style. Not the greatest, but good enough. So 8.5 seems to be a good score. So tell me what you think. If you've had Black Crown, leave your comments on the bottom. Join us and Pierre at the Beer and TV Room. Telling you to keep watching, and as always, cheers.